All right, gentlemen, I need a few minutes of your time here, so listen up, okay? Seriously, if you're only going to watch one video today, it needs to be this one. And no, I'm not saying it because I'm trying to up my watch time. I'm saying it because it could quite literally save your life. As you've probably heard earlier this week, it was announced that former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Pretty serious form of it. And I want to be clear here. This isn't about politics, and I don't want anyone going there in the comments, okay? Frankly, all that's going to do is take away from the seriousness of the discussion, and this needs to be a serious discussion because, as I said earlier, it quite literally is a matter of life and death. What this needs to be is a huge wake-up call for every man out there, including you. Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in men. In fact, about 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with it in their lifetime. And as you get older, the risk only increases. The good news is, if it's caught early enough, you got a pretty darn good chance of survival. But you see, that's the real issue, because far more often than not, it's not caught until it's too late, because we men avoid getting checked like the plague. Look, I get it. Most of us don't want to get checked. Don't want to talk about it. Don't even want to think about it because, well, it's not exactly fun, right? I mean, do you really want to sit down and have a beer with your buddy and have a discussion about ass cancer? Yeah, I didn't think so. But you see, that's the problem, because we do need to sit down, have that beer, and have that talk. A few years back, I had a scare myself. I went in for a routine checkup, the standard annual physical. Honestly, I figured it would be like it always had been, where my doctor told me I needed to eat better, get more exercise, blah, blah, blah. You know, the thing that normally happens in those physicals. But this time, it was anything but, because the doc found something she didn't like. So I had to go through the tests, the blood work, the biopsy, the whole nerve-wracking process. Luckily for me, in my case, it wasn't cancer. But the warning signs are there that I might get it in the future. And let me tell you, during that time, the waiting, the wondering if my number had just come up, it affected me. It changed me. And it reminded me how important it is to get checked, something I now have done about every 6 months or so due to my elevated risk. And let's clear up a couple of common misconceptions in case you've never had to go through the process. The check itself, honestly, it's not that big a deal. There's 2 parts to it. First, they're going to do a simple blood test called a PSA test. As I said, in my case, they're taking that test every 6 months or so. For most guys, it's once a year. That test checks for a protein that might be higher if you've got a prostate issue, and it's often how they catch prostate cancer so early, if you get it done. Then there's the other part, the part we all dread but must do. The part where we ask them if they're going to buy us dinner first. The part that is the real reason, the cause that most men avoid getting checked because it ain't exactly fun. But here's the thing. The physical exam, the one where they tell you to bend over as they stick a finger up your ass, yeah, sure, it's not something anyone looks forward to, but it is a must-do. While it feels awkward, the truth is it's quick, over in about 10 seconds. And let's be honest, guys, we've all done way dumber, more dangerous, and uncomfortable things in our life than that, haven't we? So don't let a little discomfort cost you your future. Look, we all know no one's looking out for us. No one's looking out for men, which is why we've got to look out for each other. Why we need to be talking about this with each other. Far too many good men leave this earth way earlier than they needed to because they ignored the warning signs, didn't get checked. They thought they were too tough, too young, too busy, or that it was unmanly to get checked, something I think is utterly ridiculous. Don't be that guy. So if you don't already do it, go make the appointment. Get your annual physical. Have the conversation about it with your doc. Get the blood test. Get the physical exam. And don't wait till you're 50 like I did. It might just save your life. And if it turns out clean, great. Now you got one less thing to worry about. As I said, President Biden's diagnosis isn't about politics, isn't about any of that crap. It's about men. Men who need to take care of themselves and each other. So stop freaking stalling. Go get checked.